Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Prime Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Prime Christmas movies.
I'm Alonso, and I am Christmas Night. And this
is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Oh,
wow.
Boy. That
Hello,
intro
everybody.
was right there for the taking, and he wasn't going to leave it just hanging there. That was perfect by Alonso.
Alonso always hits out of the park.
That's right.
So I've always said about him. Happy Valentine's week to everybody.
Happy Valentine's week. Here we are.
You think she's going to say yes to going on a little date with you?
You mean I assume you're talking about my wife?
Yeah, your crush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going on a Wednesday date. I can tell you that. We have 2 kids and full-time jobs. Like, it's just not happening.
Oh, Valentine's Day, that is amateur night.
Yeah, it's
like
amateur hour. That's exactly what it is.
If you're in a relationship, you don't have time for that. Like, you don't want to fight for those dinner reservations. That's for like the new people who are still trying to like
exactly
make the big gesture.
Yes.
Maybe if your relationship is on the rocks and this is a last minute save, but beyond that, yeah, no. It's a candy holiday.
Yeah, what's
To
great about
little
this is
Timmy out there that's trying to gain that courage to give the crush the bear on Wednesday.
That's what it's for, is what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to pump you up. You got this, bro. You got this, man.
No, my wife and I bond over how much we don't care about Valentine's Day. It's a bond, like it's, you know. But if it is, you're in a new relationship or trying to start one, Valentine's is an opportune time.
Dude, in middle school, Valentine's Day is...
How many no's did you get? Valentine's
I never had
school.
the courage to.
Oh, you didn't do it at all.
I never had the courage. But I remember the buzz in the air on Valentine's Day, Valentine's week, really, even like leading up to it, you could feel it in the air. Like, hey, man, I'm finally gonna tell somebody that I like.
You have a name in mind? Who is it?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't. But this is what I want to say. I believe in you. And just I believe in you.
Go for it.
Just go for it.
Go for it. Great. I'm glad we got that motivational speech out there 2 days before Valentine's
I don't
Day.
think high schoolers need the encouragement. I mean,
No.
like they've got the whole promposal
Yeah,
thing
I was about
happening.
to say,
They're
yeah.
all about the big gesture.
I'm so
of
happy
amateur hour.
promposal came after. Well, one, I didn't go to prom, but two, the pressure to
You got to rent a full circus to ask somebody to prom. You got to have a full, like, it's crazy town.
One of the many reasons I'm so happy there was no internet until like I was well out of my teens.
Yeah. Man, I tell you what. I mean, I had some internet. I had internet fame with Pants on the Ground, and you know
did.
that.
Yeah.
I love that.
You were an internet.
I was
you,
an
you
internet.
were raised in the internet age.
I was, absolutely. But without the TikTok and all that stuff.
Just the YouTube.
Just the YouTube.
That's right.
I'm a YouTube boy.
Can
I'm a
you
YouTube
believe Bran
generation.
was 14 when YouTube was out?
Yes.
Thanks.
Bran couldn't drive. He had to stay home and watch YouTube.
Stay home and watch YouTube.
Man.
Back in the good days of YouTube too, man.
When you were 14, I was already married.
Bro, when Vine came out when I was in high school, it was monumental. It was like, yo, you got 6 seconds to shine, and if you don't goof this up, something could happen. You could really become somebody with Vine.
With Vine.
To steal a joke from Miss Coco Peru, when I was 14, the closest thing we had to YouTube was Fire.
It's funny. No, now I just pull up that on YouTube, and I have the nice Yule log, so it's good to go.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's do Merry Little Batman. Let's talk about it. Is it our first animated Monday adventure?
I would say yes.
Well, we did Deck the Netflix. We did Klaus.
We did Klaus.
Yeah,
yes.
we did that. That was animated.
Yeah, that was way back.
Oh wow, I forgot that.
Yeah.
That was actually, was that a Patreon exclusive?
I thought we did it as
We may have. I don't remember.
I thought that was just part of Deck the Netflix.
No.
Was I in this review?
No, I think it was back. We did a handful of bonus episodes for other networks.
Okay. Yeah.
because I remember recording the Noel.
I bet you producer Aaron Shay's going to have
I remember recording the Noel episode in Kansas City in a car.
I remember that in the van.
And that's
in
the same year.
Van.
Noel and Klaus came out the same year, I think. No, we did. There was another Netflix animation that came out 2 years ago, and it's a kid. And gosh, what was that?
Bunny, a giant. It's Donnie Darko.
No, it's not A Boy Called Christmas, because that was live action, but
something like that. Yes, and not as good as Klaus. Let me talk about Merry Little Batman. Maybe we'll figure it out by the other end of it. It originally dropped on Prime on December 8th, 2023, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with the criminally underplayed Father Christmas by the Kinks as an animated bat flies through the woods over an ice skating rink, really setting the tone to this movie. We see little Damian Wayne running through the house, chasing a cat. This chase leads to him falling through the vents into the basement, where he finds his dad. His dad, Batman. He checks on him, and Damian says that he's fine and he's ready to be a superhero. Bruce explains that even if he was ready, there's no crime left in Gotham. When he found out that he was going to be a dad, he worked overtime to get all of the crime out of Gotham to make it a safe space to live. But that doesn't stop Damian from wanting to be a superhero. So when his dad gives him his very own bat utility belt, he's disappointed to find out that it's a kid one. It's not a real one. It's like safe and stuff. But when Batman gets a call to go help with a Justice League situation, saw him live, Damian tries to tag along, but Batman is not having it. Damian is crushed and decides that he is going to use this time to train. So he tricks Alfred to leave and go to the store to get some more marshmallows so that he can have the house to himself to train for superhero stuff. But some burglars show up while Damian is home alone. And yeah, he does do some Home Alone inspired things to get rid of these burglars. And you're like, yeah, you go, Damian. They run off, but Damian, sensing that this may just be the beginning, goes down to the Batcave and puts on one of his dad's costumes. He is committed to make sure that this doesn't continue, but also to get back his belt that those baddies stole from him. We then find out that Batman was tricked, that there was no Justice League situation, and he is in fact now stuck in the snow. The baddies from the burglary work for the Joker, and now that Batman is gone, they decide tonight, with Batman being gone, it's the perfect night to create some havoc. And in the process, it's Damian that indeed begins to cause the chaos, the havoc, including accidentally knocking down the town Christmas tree, then ruining the Christmas parade. He's trying to help, but what he's doing is making everything worse. And while he is doing that, he gets to really sad after seeing all this stuff happen, and he begins to really miss his dad. He receives an invite to a party from the Joker, and the Joker explains to him when he shows up that thanks to him creating all that chaos, we have been able to steal Christmas. While all the eyes were on you knocking down the Christmas tree and ruining the parade, we went around and we stole all the presents. It has given us the freedom to do whatever we want to. And Joker says, gotta be honest, kid, it kind of seems like you're a villain as well. And he pitches the idea of Batman's kid joining the baddies and terrorizing Gotham. And they give him his utility belt back, but with a few villain upgrades inside of this belt.
Bombs mainly. Yes.
Yeah, mainly the bombs. Damian is like, hard pass, bro. So the villains try to capture him. Batman then shows up. Batman sees Damian doing hero stuff, and he's like, whoa, maybe you are ready. And he gives Damian his utility belt. Together, they successfully fight off the baddies, and then they return the instruments to the marching band and the toys and the presents. And then Damian mentions that he thinks that maybe Batman actually kind of likes Joker. And so they end up having Christmas breakfast with Joker invited. And that, my friends, was Merry Little Batman.
We did
do it. Did we
Yes.
find out what we were talking about?
What? Oh, yeah. It is an exclusive.
Okay.
Klaus is an exclusive.
But what about the other one?
No, I got nothing there.
It's not the same time frame. It was 2 years ago. Two holiday seasons ago. Deck the Netflix. We'll be right back here on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark. Oh, boy.
And the kid's like running through the woods or something.
You
And
sure
then
that's not A Boy Called Christmas?
could be. What happened to our video?
The Boss Baby made a Christmas special. That was fun.
Well, we're back. We're talking about what was that,
Hey.
Rick?
The Boss Baby. There's a Christmas Boss Baby.
Is there?
He's full of festive Yuletide cheer. And he's still a boss, still a baby, but Christmas.
Still a boss, still a baby, still
But Christmas.
Let's talk about Merry Little Batman, shall we?
Go ahead.
We're going to start with the hot take. It is where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. And I'll start with you, Alonso. Alonso, when we were putting together a schedule, you said, can we please talk about Merry Little Batman? I said we may.
So, of
and
course,
here
he
we
hates
are.
it, right?
Here we are today. Talk about how you wish you were watching anything else other than Merry Little Batman.
No. I had seen Merry Little Batman. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it would be a fun thing to throw into the mix here to do a non-romance. You know, what the heck? Incidentally, just peeling back the curtain a bit. For some reason, on our connection today, I cannot see the boys, but if I go to my Facebook on on my phone, I can. So that's why you should become a double decker if you were not already.
In case you're ever co-hosting the show with us and the videos
yes,
at work.
Who knows when this is going to come up?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm delighted by Merry Little Batman. I think it's a hoot. I think it is. We've gotten so much grim, dark Batman from DC and Warner Brothers in the last few years, mainly because of Zack Snyder. That stuff like this and the Lego Batman movie, it's like a reminder that you can have kind of a fun approach to this character, and I think this is a fun approach. I really like the character design here. It reminds me a lot of, there's a British illustrator very popular in the mid 20th century named Ronald Searle. If you've seen the Scrooge musical with Albert Finney, he does all the drawings under the opening credits, and you've seen his stuff in just a lot of places. He was a very popular illustrator. Anyway, the way that like Alfred is drawn, the way that a lot of the characters here are drawn reminds me of that. So I love a cool shout out to that sort of thing, and not your usual sort of like, it kind of looks like anime, or it's, the kind of, character design we've seen a million times in movies like this. So that's fun. I like how the characters have like arcs and learn things along the way. Batman learns how to be so protective, and Damian learns that, if he's this selfishly following his pursuits, that he's going to leave a wake of mayhem in his way, in his wake and all. I think this is a lot of fun. I wish it had gotten more play. It's one of the movies that should have premiered on Max, but that, the current regime at Warner Brothers was like, let's just sell it to someone else. So now it's on Prime, but I hope people saw it on Prime.
This one passed me by during the holiday season. I'm happy that I finally got to see it. I really enjoyed it. I agree. I thought that the animation was really cool. I thought that the kid who voiced Damien knocked it out of the park, like just a really great job there. I love kind of the Home Alone aspect of it, the Grinch aspect of it. Many little things in there. It's like, yeah, this is very fun. As I'm watching this, I'm like, I don't even know what to do for a wait what in this movie, because if it is something, it's like, oh, it's a cartoon, and it's a cartoon. Other than that, it's fantastic. And so thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I can't wait to watch it again during the holiday season.
Yeah, I adored this movie. And the first time I watched it with my boys. They loved it. They took it super seriously as 7-year-old boys, and they were all in. I watched it again. I liked it even more the second time. And I think the reason is because, one, a lot of fun Batman Easter eggs in there for people that love the lore of Batman. They named the cat Selena. There's a "Way Do They Get a Load of Me" line, which is from Jack Nicholson and the Joker. There's all these villains they bring back through like a a cast of villains that you know, you get Mr. Freeze with the bad puns, you get the Joker. I think David Hornsby as the Joker, we always talk about who plays the Joker or who voices the Joker. Mark Hamill, Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson. David Hornsby, who's known for being a recurring character on Rob McElhaney's shows, so on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and on Mythic Quest on Apple TV, he's the Joker, and he is weirdly like perfect for it. Yeah. Like he's just so good at it and hits the tone of it and the screech and the squeal and the laugh of it. And, you know, there's some really funny moments in the movie. I also think the big problem with Batman is addressed more in this movie than in most Batman movies of why we maybe don't need a billionaire vigilante who's in charge of cleaning the streets. Maybe that isn't as awesome as we would think it is from our childhood. They address that in this movie more. There's some great parenting stuff I'll get to in all the feels. Really some funny bits, a fun plot, hijinks, great for my kids, great for me, good voices. Huge fan. One of my favorite Christmas entries of 2023 for sure. Absolutely.
It's time for all the feels. We're talking about when this movie gave us those feels. Alonso.
You know, I think a lot of laughs scattered throughout, which I loved. Notably, when Damien accidentally knocks down Alfred and he says, "My good hip." But like, yeah, I mean, like, it was wall to wall. I think really sharp writing, but little moments along the way that give you some emotional stakes with the characters. So like when Damien has to give the utility belt back because he clearly doesn't deserve it yet. Like that's a moment, you know, that really lands. When the AI Bat Dad like sacrifices itself to save Damien's life, that's a moment that actually lands. But then I also, you know, they slip those in among really funny stuff like the Home Alone stuff we've seen a lot, and they do it in, you know, Violent Night and whatever. But like the grease fire joke is very funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. And I love, as an old school comics nerd, I love that when you if you're going to show me the Batcave, there better be a dinosaur. There better be a giant penny. They're there. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Lots of great feels in this.
Even the bat nipples get a joke in this movie, which is just unbelievable for a kid's movie to throw that nipples. In there. Did you catch any of those jokes when you were watching it?
Some, but not most. Yeah. Lots of great feels in this, but I will land on a this will stick with me for a long time feels, which was when Batman is first talking to Damien and he's like, "You don't want to be a hero. I've broken all the ribs." And he pulls off his shirt. a truly grotesque image is shown to us. And that's going to stick with me. I didn't see it coming. I would have appreciated a warning. It was a lot. like there. It's going to stick with me for a while.
It was like
Dano?
Willem Dafoe's face in Poor Things is what it was.
Yes.
It was very like those two, six of one, half dozen of the other. I've got two. The first is there's a scene where Damien is rushing to the Batcave and he's in an elevator away from all the henchmen, and like it's like a very action-packed situation. And the elevator happens, it gets quiet, and the elevator in their house is playing "O Holy Night," and he starts singing. And I thought it was hysterical both times I watched it. The first time I laughed, and my kids were like, "Dad, why are you laughing?" And I was just like, "Guys, it's funny. I don't know what to tell you." But the second feels, and this is the greatness of this movie, I think, lies in the fact that it is very sentimental and has moments, as Alonso pointed out, without ever becoming saccharine or just completely schmaltzy. And so I will take my all the feels to be schmaltzy. This movie does an amazing job of like humanizing Bruce Wayne and making the plight of Bruce Wayne as dad be the same as all of us as dad. And that, you know, the thing I tell, you know, your kids, if they've not yet, and if they're listening now and I bring it up, I'm really sorry, but your kids are going to go through asking you questions about death, about like what happens when you die. You're not always going to be around. And I tell my kids regularly, like, I'm always in your head and I'm always in your heart. And
You say that to me too.
Yeah, I say that to you too because it's
is
important.
actually really
Sometimes when
sweet.
I leave, you are.
Brand, I'm in your head rent free.
That's right, rent free.
Yeah.
Well, and you skipped over this in your synopsis, but he doesn't just put on one of his dad's bat suits. He actually goes to the Bat Cave, and Bruce has made Damian his
Correct.
own bat
Yes.
suit that he's supposed to wear only if something has happened to Bruce. And so Bruce Wayne is with the voice of Bruce Wayne is with Damian for the whole movie, even though Batman is MIA. This kid for the first time has to act like an adult, and his dad's voice is there talking him through it, like reminding him that he loves
Luke
him.
Wilson, by the way, we should.
Yes,
mention.
Luke Wilson, who's phenomenal. And like, that's all I want for my kids. You know what I mean? That's
You're
all
working
I want
on that same suit for them.
Is for them to, remember the guidance and hope that I don't put too much pressure on them in the process. You know what I mean? It's like, the goal would be to know that the love was unconditional. No matter what you do, you can know that I'm going to be there to help you along the way. And this movie, without being nearly that sentimental, like it never does what I just did. It has that permeated throughout this movie, and it's fantastic. Like, it really is a movie for every age. Big fan.
Big fan. Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with the Wait What and the Prime Time here on Deck the Hallmark. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? We're right.
What?
We're back. We're
We're
right on
back
time,
already?
too. How about
It's unbelievable.
that? It's time for the Wait What. It's where we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? Alonso, what in this sweet animated Batman movie made you go, wait, what?
No. Wait, what?
That would have been it. Yeah.
So, okay. First of all, the idea that you can get Batman out of town by prank calling him and pretending to be the Justice League.
Yeah. No
I
way.
really need that unpacked for me.
For sure.
And then I was also unclear, and maybe this is me not paying enough attention or the movie not making up its mind, but was the crime spree, did they call him and get him out of town to make the crime spree happen, or did the crime spree happen because he was out of town? Like, I'm not quite sure, like, if the crime spree wasn't already planned, why the prank call? But then it sounds like later that they're saying, oh, we took advantage of his absence to do this
I
thing.
understood that it was let's get Batman out of town and then let's send these
That's how I got
lower
it, too.
henchmen
Okay.
around to rob everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was all part of the. All right, I was a little fuzzy on that one. Where the heck does Alfred go for marshmallows?
Okay.
Like
No, this is
Metropolis,
this
Star
is-
Like what?
I'm glad. Look, there's not many way what's in this movie, but most of mine boiled down to what the F, Alfred? Like, what are you doing? Look, forget where does he go for marshmallows, which is an absolutely fair question. You left an 8-year-old alone in a Gothic mansion by himself in the evening in the snow. Like, you would never. Alfred,
And
like, no Alfred, not Jeremy Irons, not Michael Caine, none of them. No Alfred would leave baby boy Bruce Wayne alone in a Gothic mansion by himself at 8 years old.
especially when if the power goes out, the gate opens.
Yes.
He is the most chill. He's the most, like, even at the beginning of the movie where Damian's running around the house, Alfred's like, hey, baby, don't.
But like,
baby boy, don't do it.
In my head, I just see like the Michael Caine crying scene in Dark Knight Rises, where he just starts to cry, like, I failed
Not
you.
gonna
I
bury
failed you,
another
Master
Batman.
Wayne. And it's like, that's how much it's my job to take care of this family. And he's just like, oh, you're 8? All right. Well, when you go to bed, just make sure no food in bed. I'm out of here. Like, and then he finds this kid who is like survived all of this mayhem, and they start walking. And Damian turns around like, oh, look, a balloon from the Joker. And Alfred just keeps walking. What the F, Alfred? Yeah. What the F,
Alfred
man?
had other things to do tonight. There's no way you can convince me he just went to the store.
Dude,
there's just no way.
Kevin McAllister's parents are parents of the year compared to Alfred. He's trying to kill this kid. It's unbelievable.
There's an amazing amount of looking the other way.
No.
And then the only other thing I have is not even really but it did this did remind me that I think that the Batman, legacy for going on a century now has a lot to answer for regarding people who make the assumption that billionaires have our best interests at heart.
That's right. Yeah.
Which I think current history is telling us is absolutely not true,
right.
and it never was. But I think Bruce Wayne is this thing that we keep hoping is going to happen, and we never get.
Yeah. Yep.
I only have one, and I understand it's a cartoon, but if I'm watching this as a kid, and I am seeing Damian's ability to tie shoes together at the rapid rate in which he's able to do so, I'm going to be so disappointed when I try it. Like, listen, as a kid, all kids try this, do the thing with the thing, and I would be going around just trying to do it afterwards, and I'd be so disappointed. The ability in which he has to tie shoes together is like, no, he it's a Guinness Book of World Records. Damian, you've got it. Congratulations, buddy. Danny?
That falls under ninja skills.
Yeah,
I think.
it does. That's true.
Wizard skills even. I'll zoom out on that scene a little bit, and I will say, listen, Macaulay Culkin needed 24 full hours pretty much for the Harry and Marv escapades. This kid has nothing planned. And these two henchmen are in the house, and all of a sudden he has everything planned. And even in a kid's movie, to have some of the gags set up that he has set up on a moment's notice is beyond impressive. I just, that to me was like, all right, he should have gotten out of there with a lot less hijinks. Having said that, the grease fire scene is worth it. So good. Yeah. Obviously, what the F, Alfred, I think we covered that. He's an absentee butler, and that's a problem. I was very confused because at the beginning, Batman tells this story about how he makes Gotham crime free, and you see him locking up these villains in Arkham, but you don't see Joker. And so when then you see Joker later in the movie, it dawned on me the second time I watched this movie that, I guess Joker was in the asylum and he got out. We don't really know what happened to Joker. And then you find out that was not the case. In one of Joker's soliloquies where he catches you up, he tells you that when Batman got rid of crime, he retired. So the best I understand that is the Joker that we know from every comic book and every Batman movie that creates chaos and organizes this nonsense crime. This guy's just like, well, if Batman's cleaned up all the crime, I'm going to take an early retirement, take a criminal's 401k. And that didn't make any sense at all to me. I was very confused on that front.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like he goes to Boca or something. I mean, Vicky Vale, the TV news report, does say early on that all of the villains were locked up or they retired. But yeah, the idea that the Joker's like, I've done enough.
Joker's entrance into the Batman mythology, anytime he comes in, is always when it appears that Batman has cleaned up. That's when the spotlight shines on Joker.
Yeah. True.
That is not when Joker goes, well, I'm hanging it up. I'm going to go get a desk job. I did all I could here, but clearly he's cleaned.
If all my baddie friends are locked up, what's the point of any of this?
Yeah,
it's time to write my memoir.
Yeah, I was like, Joker retired. And it's clear.
But also he locked up all of them, but Joker is like, well, as long as you retire, give me your word.
Yeah. Scout's honor.
Give me your word you're going to retire. I want to rest
retiring.
Also, where did they lock him up? Because one of the jokes in the opening montage is that Arkham Asylum becomes Arkham Daycare Center. Yeah. And so it's like, well, then where did they move everybody to?
Yeah, I just feel like they needed something to make that Joker is organizing this big villain get-together again. And what they decided was that Joker had retired, and that did not pass this podcast litmus test for a children's movie.
This version of this universe is not the one we're used to.
Joker could be the guy that's doing your taxes. You don't know. You don't know that. You don't know that information.
It's time for Prime Time. It's where we talk about any questions that we still have after seeing this movie that we'd love some answers to. Alonso?
Well, what I was thinking was, I remember the first time I watched this, early on kind of thinking, oh, I thought I knew where the ending was going to be. And then it kind of moved into other places, and it's fine. And I like it a lot more the second time, knowing going in what the whole outcome was going to be. But I think that this could work in sort of 3 discrete half-hour segments, you know, the sort of the setup, the, you know, chaos in Gotham, and then the resolution of it. And then I thought, would I watch a weekly half-hour series of this version of the Batman universe? And the answer is absolutely.
Yes.
So, you know, if this is a springboard for like other takes on this, and they want to like keep this cast and this version of these characters off doing things, and it becomes a weekly thing, like, count me in.
Well, what's wild that you said that, the first kind of act of this ends at 28 minutes, where he kind of escapes these 2 villains that have come to his house. And I remember thinking, man, does the movie go downhill from here? Because this feels like episodic, like just a perfect, like the little guy has to protect himself and he thinks he's Batman. And it's, as a short film or as a weekly thing, I thought it would have worked really, really well. So I'm with you on that.
Batman Dad with Damian. Great show.
Yeah, for sure.
Be great. Mine is part of what you were inquiring about, Alonso, during your Wait What was they do this prank call and they get him out of town.
Yeah.
If he hadn't crashed, this isn't working, right? Like, he crashes into the mountain and he's like kind of stranded there for a while. If he just like, hey, no one's here, I'm gonna go back home.
They did something to the thing.
They may have. They may have.
I figured Mr. Freeze created the conditions that would make the plane.
Okay, let's go with that.
Too.
I like that.
I
I like that. Great.
I've got a pretty big one that could have been a Wait What, but I do think it fits better in this segment. They try to erase you thinking about this by letting Joker eat with them at the end of this movie, but I need to be very, very clear, because of the goings on in this movie. Every major villain in Gotham now knows who Batman is. Every one of them. Because they know that he has a son and they know where his son lives. They know all of that information. When he comes to save his son, he's like, Dad, son. And they're like, oh, Batman has a son. Well, they know where that got. They know now that
they know where the belt came from.
Yes, they know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and that is a problem for everyone involved. That is, I don't care if it's for 7-year-olds. If Freeze, Bane, Poison Ivy, Cobblepot, Joker know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, that is not good. People are at risk. And that's a big hole in this movie. It is. Like, you can't do that. And they did it. So there you have it.
There you have it. With everybody, congratulations. Next week, we'll be back. We're sticking with the kid movie theme, apparently, because we're heading over to Disney Plus for The Naughty Nine. Naughty Nine. Originally on the Disney Channel, and then obviously landed on Disney Plus immediately afterwards.
Is it a DCOM then?
It is. They have apparently they've retired the DCOM name, and it is now Disney Original Movies, because I guess they're including Disney Plus.
There, yeah.
So I mean,
too many shady podcasts.
More or less.
At
but
DCOM Descendants, DCOMpodcast.com.
I believe we actually no, never mind. I was going to say did the very last one, but I think there's one after it. But Christmas Again, which we did a couple years ago, was a DCOM. This one technically not by.
But when our podcast is like taking over the world in like a couple, how many are there? 100? How many DCOMs are there?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, like in 3 years.
You're talking about DCOM Descendants?
Yeah, no. Yeah. How many DCOMs are there official? 100?
Yeah, something like that. Sure.
So in 2 years, when our podcast has run out of episodes, but has become the #1 podcast in comedy, TV reviews, and other, I guess we'll have a lot of decisions to make at that point.
We will.
Of course.
We will. We'll be back tomorrow with another Jane thing. I don't know, man. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.